Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Guys, I had this beer many years ago before I started doing beer reviews and thought it was very tasty. And then they do a version of this called, this is their Dirty Bastard. And it is a Scotch / wee heavy. And they did this beer and put in bourbon barrels and aged, and it's called Backwoods Bastard. And I have reviewed that one. And I had some subscribers say, "Oh, you haven't reviewed the Dirty Bastard. What do you think about that?" So they had this one at the store this time, and I said, we'll go ahead and so I can review it for the guys. But I did enjoy it then, and I just like the bourbon barrel version just a tad better. This is available in the 6-packs, even though it's a 8.5%. It's available in a 12-pack. We went ahead and got a 12-pack, and I took 6 of them, and the other half took the rest of them, the other 6. So, and not too awful expensive. I think it's pretty close. It's between the $14 and $15 range. But you got to realize you're getting an 8.5% alcohol beer. So you're going to pay a little bit more for that instead of it being an $11 and $12 12-pack or 13. It's almost to the $15 range. So, but in their behalf, they give you all the information on the bottle that you want. It's got the ABV of 8.5 here on the back label. It's got 50 IBUs, and it says here it was bottled on 7/27/17, and today is the 4th of August, so it's just a tad over a month old, maybe 5 weeks. So still should be very nice, and I can't think of a single reason why you couldn't sell this beer for a while. At 8.5%, being a wee heavy, not hop forward, no coffee or anything like that added to it. You can sell this beer for quite a while, I would think. So, I wanted to pick it up and review it since I have not done it yet, guys, and I probably should have by now. But whenever I go and I see the Backwoods Bastard, I usually pick that up instead. So, anyway, we've got the ABV, IBUs, and the bottle on date. So that's the 3 key bits of information we need. And they're doing that. So 2 thumbs up to Founders for putting that kind of information on their beers. I really enjoyed it, and I'm a big fan of Founders beers. Some of them have a big cult following, like KBS, CBS and stuff, but you have to stand in line or be on a list or be somewhere at the right time to get your hands on more than one of them, like they want to do around here. But they do some tasty stuff there. Anyway, commercial description. Beer Advocate says brewed with 7 varieties of malt, and it varies from year to year. Untapped has it at dark ruby in color, brewed with 7 varieties of imported malts, complex with hints of smoke and peat, malty richness, and a right hook of hops. Pow. Alright, that's all we need to talk about, so let's get the cap off of this puppy and see what we got. And they got their big 20th anniversary cap on these bottles, on all their bottles now. A little bit of hiss, a little bit of smoke. And while I am pouring it, I will tell you the cheese is buttery, brie, good Havarti Swiss. The meat is smoked meat and salmon, glassware to pint, back and 9 tumbler snifter, tulip glass. I got my favorite tulip glass, a Sovereign beer glass, and they say it can be sold for a long period of times. I can't think of a single reason why you could not on this style of beer. So, didn't pour much of a head, poured it kind of light starting off with, probably should have poured it all right straight down the center, It has a nice rich red mahogany color on the thin part of the glass, not getting a lot of light through the big bold part. Let's get a nose to it. Very nice sweetness. There is a slight, ever so slight hint of some alcohol there, but it's very fresh. It's got a nice malt backbone. I'm getting some sweet molasses, and I'm getting some hints of some dark fruit, maybe figs or raisins, and that's probably going to come out a little bit more as it warms up to room temperature, which I always do. Maybe a slight hint of that smoked peatiness they were talking about as far as the malt goes. Smells very good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Very nice, very pleasant. A nice balanced beer. I don't consider this a hop forward beer. Just enough hops to balance out the malt, and the amount of malt it takes to brew an 8.5%. But just as I consider this a big beer, it's 8.5. It's an imperial to me. Once you get above 8%, I consider those doubles or imperials. And for an imperial, I mean, I got a little bit on the nose cold. I hadn't, once you let it air out in the glass and stuff, that alcohol goes away, and as you sip on it and let it come up to room temperature, the alcohol is gone. And I'm not even getting hardly any on the taste. So very well made. For a case of this, 12 bottles of 8.5% for $14.99, a very good deal. A very good deal. 12 bottles of 8.5% for less than $15. It is a good deal. And for the style, for a wheat heavy Scotch ale, very nice. And like I say a lot of times, the only way I think this could be better if they put it in bourbon barrels. Well, they do. That's the backwood bastard version of it. And it does come in 4-packs, not 6-packs. I haven't seen any cases of that either. So, and you're going to pay, and it's a lot bigger beer. I'm thinking the backwoods is the up to 11%. I don't, I'm just chucking that number out. I think it's an 11%. But it's very, very tasty. It's this beer aged in bourbon barrels, and I find that very, very tasty beer. I would choose that over this one, just because of the bourbon note you're going to get. But for what a 4-pack of this is going to cost, you can almost buy 12. A 4-pack of that, you can buy almost 12 of these, maybe a couple dollars more for an additional 8 bottles. So very tasty. So let's let it warm up. It's right out of the fridge. Let her taste it, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got a little bit left here. Very tasty beer, guys. It is very, very nice. The Backwoods Bastard is just a little nicer to me because of the bourbon barrel notes that they do with that beer. Plus it's a little bit bigger beer too. I'm thinking it's 11%. I'm not sure about that, but I think it is. And I like that version just a tad better than this one because of that. But this one in its own right is a pretty damn tasty beer too, especially if you like the style of beers. Scotch / wheat heavy. It's not too big. 8.5 is it's there, but it's not an 11%er. Something you can drink. Maybe 2 of these, where one of those is probably going to get you into Hammer Lane pretty quick. And I never drink more than one of those at a time. I don't drink the same beer twice in the same day. That's one of my things. No matter what beer I'm having, whether I'm doing beer reviews or I'm doing go-to beers, I never drink the same beer twice in the same day. There's too many of them out there to drink the same thing over and 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 over. So I like to change it up a little bit. Start with something a little lighter, and then a little bit heavier, then a little bit heavier, and then finish up with something a little heavier if I do 4. Usually, if I'm not doing beer reviews, I only have 3. And a lot of beer reviews, I only do 3. Sometimes I feel like doing the 4th one. It just depends on what mood hits me, guys. A lot of people ask me, how many beers you have a day? Usually 3. Unless it's, what do you say, a bad day or a good day, you might have 4. So But I think this is a great beer, guys. I do, for what it is. And if you wanted a bourbon barrel version of this, take a little jigger of bourbon, pour it in your beer. There you go. You got a backwoods bastard right there. That's all it takes. And I tell people that all the time. If you like that bourbon notes and you want to drink a Bell's Two Hearted Ale or something, a regular stout, pour you a little jigger of a good bourbon in there, and there you go. You got it. So you kick the alcohol up a notch or 12, and you're going to get those bourbon notes. So it's a good way to supplement something that you paid a decent price for, to kick it up to a high price beer. So, but I think this is a great beer, guys. I think it's very nice. It's very tasty. Now that's warmed up, I am getting that smoky peatiness to the beer, a nice malt backbone, hints of some figs or raisins in there, a little bit of molasses. Very tasty beer. Final chug. And with them putting all 3 bits of information, ABV, IBUs, and the bottle on date, you can't ask for anything more. So they're giving us what we want to make an educated purchase of their beers with all that bits of information that we want. So, guys, to me, I think it's an A beer. I'm going to give it to A minus. 92 is where I would put this. So, let's run over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 90 in their outstanding range. I think it's a couple of notches better than that because of the information they're giving us on the bottom. All 3 bits of information. Over to Untapped. Untapped has it at 3.8. I think it's several notches better than that. Just because of the information they're giving us, and it's a well-made beer, guys. Now that I've been sipping on it, and maybe because I've been sipping on it, I'm not getting any of that 8.5%. It's very well hidden. Very tasty beer, guys. If you haven't tried this, and you like this style of beer, pick it up. Pick you up a 6-pack of it, or even a 12-pack of it, because you're not going to get burnt usually if you're paying $14 to $15 for 12 8.5% beers. Is very well made. So we're going to leave it at that, guys. If you've had this from the founders, they're a dirty bastard. Let me know what you think, and until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.